we were doing a lot of work out there.
Nice. All right, cool. So yeah, so it's gonna be pre-recorded. It's gonna play this afternoon.
Okay.
Cool. All the hits. Q97 Danny Salas live at the Izod Center, the site of WWE Access. Days away this Sunday, WrestleMania 29, and I am sitting here with one of my all-time favorites, someone I grew up with, a bona fide Hall of Famer, Sergeant
Ted Hutt.
Come on, man.
Okay, at ease.
Call me a maggot.
As
one
you
time.
Were, maggot.
We have got Sergeant Slaughter. It's a pleasure and honor meeting you.
Great to be here. Great to be here.
Man, so
hello to everybody out there in the Fresno area.
Yes, sir. Man, we love you. Man, Fresno loves the Sarge.
That's one of my favorite areas.
Yeah.
Pistachios, I can't get enough of them.
There it is. Man, we're in Ag City.
Yes.
Fresno has everything.
Yes.
We got pistachios, we got fruit, we got everything.
Everything.
That's it. Where are you originally from?
Originally Minnesota.
Okay.
Born in Beaufort, South Carolina. My father was in the Marine Corps at Parris Island, and I was born there, but I grew up in Minnesota. That's where my father had a farm.
Nice. You still live there now?
I do not. I go back there as much as I can.
Cool.
But I live in, right now I'm living in North Carolina.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
yeah.
WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Man.
Isn't it fun?
How crazy is this already?
Wow. We put some time in.
Heck yeah. And I appreciate you waking up early to do all these radio
not
interviews.
A problem. This was easy.
Right?
Those old 400s, they're a little rough.
Right? So, like I mentioned during the intro, you are a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Who went into the Hall of Fame during your year?
Well, we had Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yep.
I believe it was Bobby the Brain Heenan. Pete Rose, I remember, was a celebrity.
The celebrity, yep.
And there was a few. John Studd wasn't living then, but he was inducted.
That was a good year.
Tito Santana.
That was a good year.
Great year. We had a lot of them.
Are you? Is that the ring? You sporting the Hall of Fame ring right now?
Hall of Fame ring.
All right, we definitely.
2004.
Nice.
I'm very proud to wear that, and I wear it every day.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
Man, that is a beautiful thing.
Yes, thank you.
So you've had a huge career in WWE. I mean, like I said, it wasn't just lip service, man. I grew up watching you and looking up to you. At least looking up to you the first part of your career. Up until Sarge Turncoat.
Turncoat.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, what happened during those days?
Well, you know, I came into the WWE. I started wrestling in 1974 and did a few tours of duty of other places, but my goal was to get to the WWE. That was the World Series, the top
Pinnacle,
place
right?
to go. And so I worked hard and got there. In 1980, I finally made my debut. And first match I ever had in WWE was in Madison Square Garden against Bob Backlund, the world champion. Doesn't get much better than that.
Right? How, you imagine how many performers just dream of one day being under the lights of Madison Square Garden, and that was your first match.
Yeah, I looked around. The place was jam-packed, sold out, as they say. And when you hear those words, sold out, everybody's happy.
Right?
The promoter's happy. Your fellow wrestlers are happy, and it was a great experience. I looked around and I just said to myself, "Welcome to the Milky Way." I had worked hard to get there. Of course, my second tour of duty, I came back and gave Mr. McMahon an idea. We were out having dinner one night, and he said, "Sarge, you're the greatest villain of all time." My father, Vince's father, was there, and he said, "Yep, nothing like Sergeant Slaughter, the villain." And I said, "Well, if you think I'm such a good guy, a bad guy, you should see me as the good guy, the hero." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you got the Iraq situation, you got the Iron Sheik, you got the Ayatollah community, you had the hostage situation, and the Black Hawks down, and the killing of the murder of the Marines at the embassy, and it was all, you know, we never really got any payback." And so I said, "Why don't you let me go up against the Iron Sheik?" Of course, Vince, he was just taking over the company at that time, and he said, "I love it, I love it." And his father said, no way, you can't make the Sergeant a good guy, a hero. He's the best bad guy of all time." So Vince looked over at me, gave me a wink, and he said, "I'll talk to Pops later." So one day I came to Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Vince came over to me. He says, "Are you ready to do it?" And I said, "Do what?" He goes, "I want you to do what we talked about." I said, "Okay." He said, "When the time is right, I'm not going to tell anybody." He said, I'll give you the cue, and you come out and give me the best General Patton type of promo you give. So we did. I went out on the first airing, and I was the villain, of course,
right.
And everybody was hating me. And second taping, we had the Iron Sheik go out. He did a promo. And then the third taping, he went out and wrestled Little Eddie Gilbert and beat him to a pulp, and got on the microphone and started putting down the USA and everything else. And when he spit on the ground, that's when they hit my music and I came out. And it was kind of like silence at first because they
didn't know what to think,
didn't know what to think. They were, yeah, here come the Marines.
You're like, here's a Sarge I can get behind, right?
Had the Marine Corps hymn playing, and the Iron Sheik didn't even know what was happening. Ayatollah Blassie, Fred Blassie, the manager, didn't know what was happening, but he caught on real quick because he's a veteran. So he got right out of the ring, and we met each other in the walkway there. And I told the Iron Sheik if he wanted to fight somebody, I was the man.
Man.
So, I got in and did the best General Patton type of promo I could do, and I ended up telling the Iron Sheik that he spit on the ground that my mother was buried in, and that I was going to do something I've done all my life since I was a little kid in school, and Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and Marine Corps, and I did the Pledge of Allegiance. And everybody in the arena stood up and did it with me. And, we were off to the races.
Man, there has to be a huge sense of just power to be able to turn the entire crowd who hated you just like that.
The next couple of days, wherever I went, just an incredible turnaround. Next time I went to the TV in Allentown, there were like 10 sacks of mail for me to open up. And it was just an incredible. I went to an appearance and we couldn't even get to it because there were so many people. Wow. And then I left for a while again and came back. I had been offered a place in Hasbro's G.I. Joe character for
the Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe action figure.
That was the first only living G.I. Joe character in their 30-year history, and I went to Vince McMahon about it, and he said, well, that's great, but I can't let you do it. And I said, why not? He said, because I have a conflict in toy company. I have a toy company, and Hasbro's a different toy company.
Right.
It won't work out. So I had to think long and hard, and I decided I could always be a wrestler, but I couldn't always be, a G.I. Joe action figure, the first living G.I. Joe. So I left for about 5.5, 6 years. Missed the first 6 WrestleManias. And then when my contract was over, I got a call from Mr. McMahon. He already knew my contract was over. And he had an idea and told my family I was going to go meet him. And I figured he was going to take G.I. Joe and the All-American Hero and
or so you thought.
The roof.
So you thought.
So I thought. But when I left his house, I realized that I was going to be an Iraqi sympathizer. But he told me to go and talk to my family about it because it was a big decision.
Heck yeah.
And so, of course, my wife and my daughters all thought I was crazy. But they said, you've always made the decisions on your career, so if you think it's what you want to do, I said, well, let's go for it. So we did, and I didn't realize it was going to have the impact it did. I mean, we had bomb threats, death threats. Our houses, Mr. McMahon called me one day and said, have you talked to your family? We've got some problems. And I said, what happened? He said, well, nothing's happened yet, but someone called here and threatened to kill you and me and my family, bomb our houses, bomb our wrestling office, the studio.
Unbelievable.
So I took a precaution of sending security over to your home. When you get there, everything should be fine. So I got home and there were 4 armed guards walking the perimeter of my property. A little place to live. They had a bagel there, and they were there for about 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh my gosh!
And it was a hot issue. I couldn't go through airports. I had to go on the plane through the side of the airplane, go up the steps, and never dressed at arenas. Always dressed at the hotels. They would come and pick me up and take me to the arenas.
Wow!
And never had a rental car. I had 2 or 3 rental cars. They were destroyed, so they got me cars to pick me up and take me places.
So
Vince McMahon always reassured me that once you ask your forgiveness from the WWE universe and American the fans and people alike, they'll forgive you. And the whole incentive was that he laid out a plan showing me that WrestleMania 7 was going to be in LA.
Right, I've heard this story.
Yep. And 104 to 105,000 people, so that would have made it the biggest ever crowd attendance, and that's what I really was shooting for. And then, of course, when we got a couple days, about a week before, they told Mr. McMahon he had to secure the Coliseum, and it was going to cost about $5 million.
Holy smokes.
So we decided to go inside.
So my question to you is, with the bomb threats, the death threats, the constant surveillance looking over your shoulder, the shutting down of the Coliseum, was it worth it? Oh, it was worth it. It was all entertainment. It was all for the joy and entertainment of the WWE universe. And when the war started, we did this during the overtake of Kuwait. Right. And when the war started and lives were being lost, we backed off and we went back to not using it for entertainment. We took it pretty serious. And, it was a little bit rough wrestling in bulletproof vests, but the FBI came and asked if I would please do that, because they said, you may not know this, but there's a lot of threats against you that we don't ever tell you, but we think you should probably take. How much did that make you sweat, just to know that your name is on a couple lists somewhere? Well, you don't think about it till it's over with, because you're so involved in it, and you kind of do as much as you can. I mean, I did things where I had a birthday cake for Saddam Hussein on his birthday in the ring, and asked people to sing happy I remember
birthday,
that, yeah.
And having people stand up and give 10 seconds of silence for all the brave Iraqi soldiers who lost their lives in the overtake in Kuwait. That didn't go over so well either. But, we try to make it as entertaining as we could without slapping anybody. We didn't burn the American flag, do anything crazy like that. Right. I was kind of asked to do it one time, and I refused, and came up with the idea of why don't we take Hulk Hogan's shirt, and he was my opponent, put that on a banner and call it the symbol. That's symbolic, right? It actually got more impact than the other. I mean, a good impact. Yeah. Dude, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, it was some of the craziest times in WWE, and you were a big part of it. So thank you. That was awesome. Well, I always have my bag with me, and every once in a while they throw me in a match. And I'm kind of looking for a little redemption from Jack Swagger taking a 2x4 to me a few weeks ago. Man, yep. Well, hoping that Del Rio will give him a good spanking. I'm hoping. As much as I love to see Sergeant Slaughter on TV in 2013, in the back of my head, I just fear that someone's gonna take a 2x4 to you or something like that. Yeah. But it's always good to see you up on TV. Good to be here. It is always good to see you on TV. Thank you. I know you have limited time, but I need to ask you about the Iron Sheik. Yes. Obviously, he's someone you've had a huge relationship with, been on the road with for years and years and years. How close are you guys still today? Well, I don't really see him or talk to him. Every once in a while I get a call from his nephew or something, wanting to know how I'm doing. He's pretty crippled up. He had a car accident years ago and had his ankle broke. Oh man! And he never had it reset. So these days he's not walking too well. And sometimes at the some independent shows, autograph sessions, some comic book. Comic cons and things like that, I'll run into him, but he has a kind of like a staff that he hangs on to instead of a cane, and I call him the Iron Shepherd. He doesn't like that. So I wouldn't even think he'd understand what that means. He bops me over the head once in a while with that big shaft that he's got hanging on. That's awesome. He worked hard. He went through a lot of what I did when I went to Iraq. But, he's an American, and he loves this country, but he just played the role. Right. And, he was from Iran, and he worked for the Sheik, and had to escape the country when Ayatollah took over, because they were going to kill him. Right. Amazing. So he made it over here. His family was all there. Pretty rough time. Man, well, I just got to say, just as a fan, I appreciate everything you've done in the ring, growing up with
with you in the ring has been an unbelievable experience, and being here in 2013 in New Jersey for WrestleMania 29, sitting face to face with Sergeant Slaughter, it's a dream. So I appreciate your time.
Great to be here, and I'm glad that that I made you smile and
absolutely.
and
I could literally listen to these stories all day. I swear I could.
Yeah, I could tell them all day.
I love it.
There's a lot of them.
Sergeant Slaughter, thank you
very
so
much.
much for your time, and I'm sure we'll see you at the Hall of Fame in WrestleMania.
Well, I hope everybody keeps listening to Q97, and that's an order. No push-ups for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.